Alrighty, how is everybody doing? This is, of course, your boy Bernie here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And I do apologize that we're not going to be live streaming this week, at least on the Monday that we typically do. I unfortunately got caught up with some stuff for a different channel, and so we're just going to be doing recorded videos from here on out. Next week, I will not be here, so I think I will have some planned content. If anything comes out, that's a video or some breaking news comes out, I'll be sure to go live or at least be putting out a video on that topic specifically. But nevertheless, we're here to talk more so about the news and rumors that's been going on. So there's going to be a series of videos kind of leading up to the weekend. I also have good news. The Victor Wembanyama video will be coming out relatively soon. I'm planning on it to be Thursday. So I'll give you guys a sneak peek either Tuesday or Wednesday. And I am excited to put that video out. I put a lot of effort into it, put a lot of kind of watching some film of Victor Wembanyama. Obviously rewatched the U19 game with him and Chet Holmgren. A lot of great stuff. So that stuff will be coming out this week. I'm excited. But here we're ready to talk about the news and rumors. And this one to me was a surprising one because I haven't seen this one pop up until recently. I think it was about a couple days. And this, of course, stems from one of a former ESPN beat writer, Mark Stein, and talking about Kevin Durant retiring. And I'm glad that he issued a correction. But let's talk about it because Kevin Durant also had to say some things on his Twitter as well. So let's get right into it. This is what the story goes on to say from Mark Stein. And of course, this is from the Real GM, where I usually get my news and rumors from. Kevin Durant strongly refuted an assertion from a well-connected team executive that suggested to Mark Stein of Substack that Durant was more apt to retire than play for the Brooklyn Nets. Durant is seeking a trade this offseason. We obviously have talked about that before with him telling Tasai either pick me or the coach. And then Durant goes on to believe, I know that most people will believe unnamed sources over me, but if anyone's out there that'll listen, I don't plan on retiring anytime soon, wrote Kevin Durant on Twitter. Blank is comical at this point. And, we go to Mark Stein's Twitter, he kind of talks about it here. And this is what it said for just the article's sake, so you guys can see from Mark Stein's perspective, give you both sides. During the Summer League in Vegas, one of the well-connected team executives I spoke to regularly insisted to me that based on what he was hearing, Kevin Durant was more apt to retire than to play again for the Brooklyn Nets. This was early July. I told the sister that I simply couldn't believe that. I was a loyal subscriber to the theory that Kevin Durant, the Hooper, loves to play basketball. And this is what Mark Stein says here. Enclosed in the first 3 paragraphs about what I actually wrote about KD and why not a single tweet from me promoted the retirement idea, told the exec who told me it could not be believed. Used it as an antidote to get on the latest on the Nets. Again, here's what I will say for Mark Stein. I understand it's a dry season right now. And I talked about this in a couple days ago's video. I believe either on Saturday or Sunday I put it out. It's a dry season out here right now. When we talk about news and rumors and we talk about all this stuff, there's not really much going on. I mean, unfortunately, we had the passing away of a coach, Pete Carelli, former head coach of Princeton, aka the creator of the Princeton offense. So if you ever ran that in high school, he unfortunately passed away today at the age of 92. And so when we look at all this stuff, and more so from the fact of that there's not really that much news coming out there other than just recently the Ben Simmons news, which we will go over in a different video. What I find frustrating about this whole thing is that I don't think anybody should believe that Kevin Durant. I think the only person that we really should believe in for Kevin Durant in terms of how, basketball wise is himself. He will tell you when he's retiring. He will tell you when he's done with his career. Because I think just like anybody, I don't believe the rumors that he would retire. The guy is too good. He's too good. And at this point in his career, I understand that, maybe he does not like the team that he's on, but I don't think he would ever retire because he didn't like it. I think Kyrie Irving was the only one that I could potentially believe in. But even then, I have to wait for him to say it. Because I think he has other vested interests besides basketball that he's kind of preoccupied with at the moment. And I think that stuff is honestly taking precedent. And again, that's just my opinion of it. That it's taking more presence or more in his life than basketball. Which, to everybody, it's different vices, right? Maybe not different vices is the right word, but it's different strokes for different folks, right? Some people are going to be so pro this. Some people are going to be so not pro that. Some people are going to be very career heavy driven and focused. Some guys are going to be like, well, I kind of want to do the next step in my career, the next step of my life. And so when I see that from, maybe more so from Kyrie Irving than Kevin Durant, that's the reason why you have to be careful when you look at these people like Mark Stein, even Brian Windhorst. I was talking, he's talked about a holdout. I was actually going to make a video about it, but maybe this will be the combined video for it. More so, Kevin Durant will likely hold out. He's alluding to that. And I think that's the thing that kind of gets me when it comes to, a bunch of these reporters is that they really don't have connections like you think they do. I think that there may be some people that have those deep connections. Like I think the Wojnarowskis, I think the Shams. Obviously, they have different connections from different areas. I think Wojnarowski's more so the front office. I believe Shams is more so the players. And so you can kind of see from their perspective and from what you're seeing from those two is that there's other people that kind of fit that next level or that next tier of news and rumors, right? We talk about guys like Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, your Skip Baylesses of the world. Maybe Skip Bayless a little bit lower on the tier because he's more of like an opinion guy. I'm trying to think of like other, Mark Stein even, or Rick Bucher, like those guys, or even Bagley, the guy from Sky, wherever the Brooklyn Nets broadcasting company is, that reporter too. Like those guys, I think that they have some connections. Obviously, they wouldn't just be spewing nonsense. But at the same time, we need to be careful. And I talked about this in my last video about the wording that some of these people use. We talked about this. One anonymous executive GM told me. I mean, what he could be an executive for like ticket sales for the basketball team. This is why I think we have to be careful. Like, again, we have to have anonymous sources because some people are not going to want to go on the record and say some things. And obviously they're scared, especially when it comes to this stuff. I think there's some stuff where you have to kind of be like, okay, some serious stuff. You can't really say that. And that's more so in the political sphere and things like that. But when it comes to like sports and things like that, I think it's just people scared of the opinion of what a player or what a coach or what an owner will say about that person. And again, I'm not saying that you should put your name on it, but what I am saying is that we need to stop holding these words that these people say as gospel, right? Mark Stein is now Substack, which is a kind of like a Patreon for writers, and he's probably trying to look for those clicks. And again, I think that he knew what he was doing when he wrote that article. He knew what he was doing when he put that quote in there, which then got the attention of course, Real GM. It got the attention of all these other news sources like ESPN, probably to some extent, Brian Windhorst as well. And to me, we have to be responsible as readers, but also as people that report on stuff. And again, I don't consider myself a journalist. I don't consider myself in that echelon. I consider yourself like more in the, Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, like that type of realm. Because again, I don't have any inside information. I don't have any sources that are saying, hey, this executive told me this, right? I know of some people and around the league and things like that, but I'm not getting information from them. I'm not going to, some of the local guys here in Seattle and saying, hey man, what's your sources on this? No, because at the end of the day, the only real news that you'll get is from the players or the people that are involved in the news. And to me, I never thought of Durant retiring because that'd be foolish. I think Kevin Durant is way too good, and I think he loves the game too much to retire. And so that to me is where I'm at with this sort of particular article, where I'm at with this situation when it comes to Kevin Durant. At the end of the day, he will tell us when he's going to retire. I don't believe that, Mark Stein or anybody that is, sources familiar with Kevin Durant's thinking. Again, that type of stuff, I've told you guys numerous amount of times when it comes to that stuff. Be careful when you read the articles. Make sure that when you see what the person has said or anything like that, see what they said. See who said it. See the way and the framing that these media people tell you it is, right? Again, there's some people I trust and there's some people I don't trust. I don't trust most of the guys out here besides a couple. Chris Haynes, I think, is also in the category of the Shams and the Wojnarowski. I forgot about him, and I want to shout him out. I think he's a great beat writer for Yahoo News. Or I guess maybe not a beat writer. He's a insider, NBA insider, along with Wojnarowski and along with Shams. Those three guys to me are the top tier. There may be some other guys where maybe I'm not remembering them as much, but if I'm gonna get my news or think about who would be very who would be the person I would trust the most, it would be those three guys. And even Wojnarowski, I think, is more of a mouthpiece for the NBA than he is for the players. Where I feel like Shams reports it pretty well, and I feel like Chris Haynes does it as well too. I think Chris Haynes a little bit more. I think more on the player side, but again, you need to have those different perspectives. You can't have just one from the NBA, executives, one from a different one, and then one from the players, right? You need to have all three of them so you can kind of build a better picture of the story that's, at hand when it comes to talking about different topics. And again, I respect those three people the most, and those are the only three people that, in my opinion, I would trust if there was ever a breaking news story from the NBA and from any of these other places. But again, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys make of this Kevin Durant nonsense story? Again, we talked about as well from Brian Windhorst. He's saying that, Kevin Durant could potentially hold out and not play, preseason games and not play and good report to training camp, which I believe starts tomorrow, August 16th. I think at the end of the day, let's wait and see. If Kevin Durant doesn't show up tomorrow, then we can start reporting about it. Then we can start talking about it. But until then, let's continue to wait. Let's continue to review the news and rumors. And again, making sure that we don't report this stuff as facts. We can say, I'm speculating, or hey, this is what I'm thinking. Like you yourself personally. Because I think that's the thing that gets a lot of these other news writers and beat writers in trouble is when you start saying like I have this source, this and that, and then it ends up not being true. You just don't look good. And that's the reason why Shams, Wojnarowski, and Chris Haynes, those are the only three guys that I trust for news and rumors and basketball opinions, because those are the three guys that honestly do the best reporting and do the most, I would say, ethical news research. Like they're actually reporting stuff that's true. They're not saying one exec told me this, two execs told me that, and maybe they are doing that to some extent for some things. But for the most part, they're very factual in their news, and that's why I would trust them more over anybody else. But nevertheless, guys, let me know what you guys think of this Kevin Durant situation, the holdout, the retirement. What do you guys think of this whole situation? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining us here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Peace.